to Washington and the fallout after that historic move by the January 6th committee to refer criminal charges against former President Donald Trump. The bipartisan group of lawmakers calling on the Justice Department to bring those charges. Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl has more on this. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Cecilia. The January 6th committee made its dramatic final act after conducting one of the most sweeping investigations of a president ever done by Congress. It was a moment for history.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye. The January 6th committee wrapping up its 18-month investigation in dramatic fashion, urging the Justice Department to prosecute Donald Trump for multiple crimes related to the attack on the U.S. Capitol. The committee brought forward new evidence even in its final hour. Never-before-seen testimony from Hope Hicks, one of Trump's longest-serving and most loyal aides, who testified she told him she didn't see any evidence of voter fraud in the 2020 election.
He said something along the lines of, nobody will care about my legacy if I lose. So that won't matter. The only thing that matters is winning.
The committee also referred to the Justice Department evidence of witness tampering, saying a lawyer who was being paid by a pro-Trump group told one witness she could claim she didn't recall certain facts, even if she did, and even suggested she could get a well-paid job from a pro-Trump organization.
We are concerned that these efforts may have been a strategy to prevent the committee from finding the truth.
The committee summarized the most damning evidence against Trump, arguing that he knowingly lied about voter fraud, pressured state-level officials to manipulate election results, worked with allies to submit fake electors, and when all of that failed to overturn his election loss, whipped up his supporters into a frenzy to disrupt the transfer of power. As the mob ransacked the Capitol, some of them even chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," the committee says Trump stood by and did nothing.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
The committee concluded the president committed at least 4 crimes, including obstructing an official proceeding, conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to make a false statement, and insurrection against the U.S. government. Donald Trump responded to this by once again attacking the committee and insisting that all the investigations he has faced have only made him stronger. As for the Justice Department, no response there yet. Of course, they will make their own decision about whether or not to prosecute Trump. Their investigation, Cecilia, is well underway.
Yeah, it is, John, and we're going to pick up right there. Thank you. Let's bring in ABC News Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. John just said it. This is the committee urging the Justice Department to charge Trump. Ultimately, it is up to the DOJ. So does this move by the committee recommending these charges matter? What does it amount to?
It doesn't matter in terms of their conclusions. In fact, I would argue that the Department of Justice may not even want this because it gives the scent of politicization, which is the last thing that the DOJ wants. But what is significant is the testimony, the evidence that the January 6th committee has gathered. All of that becomes available to the DOJ to use in a possible prosecution. And I think that's the key distinction there, the evidence versus the conclusions that they drew.
Yet no former president has ever been charged with the crime. The DOJ, they've got to know. Merrick Garland knows they need an airtight case here if they're going to go forward this. So where could they end up going with this?
Well, look, they could go in the direction that the committee is suggesting. Any of those 4 crimes could be on the table. But remember, this doesn't even address the document case. It doesn't even address the ignored subpoena, which many would argue may be the airtightest of all of the potential charges against the former president.
And we still don't know at this point what special counsel Jack Smith could be considering. That is the huge factor going forward.
Right, and we're not going to know. I mean, that's the one thing that I'm willing to bet on, is that we're not going to know exactly what he's up to until we hear a decision from Jack Smith. And look, that's the potential danger here for former President Trump, is to some degree, Merrick Garland was a protection against Trump in the sense that he didn't want, I think, the potential political fallout of prosecuting a former president. Jack Smith isn't bound by that.
Well, we'll be watching. Thanks, Dan.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.